Mike?
Hey, we can hear you. I heard
you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Barely. Why is it so quiet?
Because your face smells. Is that better?
Ooh, besides the hum, yeah.
Yeah, there's a hum.
There's a hum? I hear no hum.
It's not from you. It's from so we got you sending us your audio. It's going to the computer. From the computer, it's going into the monitor. From the monitor, it's going into this little box here.
Yeah, gotcha.
That nobody can see except for you. And then from there, we have it plugged into an extension. And then from the extension, these crappy little headphones that were like $10 for like 10 of them are plugged into. So there's a lot of variables here.
They were legit like $15 for 10 of them.
That cause hums. So
that's hilarious.
Hopefully everybody else could hear Mike.
Hello, Trace and RSB and Xander and Tony. I made a replica of my character's wand from Hogwarts Legacy.
Whoa, you guys send me that, man. I'd like to see it, please.
Trace said, "How are we doing? We're okay."
How you doing?
Let us know if you guys can hear.
No, you gotta say it like Joey. How you doing?
No, I hate Friends.
What?
I refuse.
Have you watched Have you watched it at all?
I watched like a ton, like whenever it would be on TV.
It's such a good show.
It's so good.
I just hate Rachel, man. They were totally on a break. They were definitely on a break. So if you disagree, it's like you don't know what we're talking about. I take it because you didn't respond.
Well, I know she was like on and off. Oh, I need a doggy. She was on and off with like Ross, right? And then what do you do? Hook up with someone, and she's like,
she broke up with him, and then he was mad and had some.
No, he was depressed.
Yeah, and he
had depressed sex.
Yeah, and it was just like she finds out, and then she's like, we weren't on a break. How dare you? Blah,
See,
blah, blah.
That's why you save yourself for marriage, and then you never have to worry about that kind of stuff, dude.
Yep, that's why you're never getting married.
Yeah, right.
Wait, so you don't have to do it?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Then you never have an issue.
Celibacy is key, as I say, my friends.
That's it. Yeah, it's his motto. That was his high school
my yearbook quote. Celibacy is key.
What was it?
Celibacy is key.
How can you not hear him?
He's low.
No, he's not. I'm like cranking him up.
I'm also half deaf.
You're, I guess.
Splurge for the $10 headphones next time, guys. Jesus.
Nah, dude.
She just hates headphones. I love headphones. I like
by the way,
my PlayStation ones are getting like beat up. I should probably get new ones.
I need
time for some new ones.
Headphones for work.
Mike, have you noticed that if the PlayStation ones, the ones that you have the Pulse, right? The Pulse, the new ones.
Yeah, I don't know if they've released like a new version, but I have.
Well, you have the ones that like the white piece like does like that thing that kind of
I'm just.
around.
Are they still only up to that? They didn't put out like a version.
They have another one, but that's like I think the main one. They have I think a tier above it, but it's not like phenomenal or anything.
Gotcha.
I was thinking about getting those. They're like $100, right?
Yeah, totally worth
that's
it.
all.
Oh, shut up! You just spent like $80 on a comic book and a freaking puzzle. I almost cursed.
Points, Amazon points,
and real money.
Those
only
are
30.
He could have used that money for headphones.
I could have used that money for headphones.
You have Amazon points for headphones.
Yeah, it's funny
you have $84.
because I save my money for stuff, right?
The second I get my points, I'm like, I need this puzzle, and
it's funny because
book.
It's like she doesn't even need anything. She's just like, I have money, so I need to spend it.
No, it's stuff that I've had in my wish list that I want, and I'm excited to get it.
I sympathize with both of you. I'm like both of those. Like I go back and forth with what I am.
Can't. They're opposites.
Yeah.
Dude, I know that's like I go through phases where it's like I'll spend money and I'll be like, oh, this is only $1,500. That's almost free. And then like I'll buy something for like $100 and I'm like, no, I don't need to spend that, and I'll like cancel it. Like I did that. Yeah. So I did that last night. I bought myself tools for my birthday, and then I woke up and canceled them. I was like, no, I can't justify it.
I'll like want something for the longest time, and I'll bug her about it, and like I'll bug her, and then eventually she's like, okay, get the thing. And I'm like,
no, I can't do it. It's too much money.
Can I do it? Jesus. I go,
but do I need it?
Like, I don't know if I need it or if I'm going to like really use it as much as I think I am. So maybe I shouldn't get it. And then she's like, God damn it, I hate you.
Well,
I'm like, I'm going to buy it.
You need to use those. That's what you should get him for like holidays. Be like, here, happy Easter. Here's the here's the Sony headphones you wanted.
Yeah, but then
I
she'll
used
probably
your points to buy them.
she'll probably mess up and buy the wrong thing.
I did do that
You've
once,
done
right?
that several times. Yeah.
Several times.
Yeah.
The
most memorable one is the mixer thing, the pressure thing. Yeah. Pressure.
What did I say?
Pressure.
Osmond, don't eat that.
What? So wait, what? You got like
she just bought the wrong thing. She just like saw that. Because sometimes I'll save stuff to my wish list, not because I want that exact model, but because I want that model to lead me towards something else. Yeah. And it's just like kind of like hey, I got to look into this later. And like there was one on there that wasn't exactly it because I was still researching, and she bought me that pressure pot, which means nothing to most people. Didn't we return it? Yeah, it came in damaged too.
Yeah.
So rats. Freaking yeah, I have like some stuff on my wish list that like I refuse to take off just because it's been on there for like 10 years, and I'm like, nah, it's just been here too long to remove.
Yeah, it's what's it called? We have a lot of different wish lists though. Like we have like mine, then we have a car one, then we have like
jigsaw
a
puzzles,
lawn one,
books.
You know, funny book ones. Yeah,
I have like a phantom wish list that like I can't find. Like sometimes I'll see it like somewhere, and I'll be like, dude, like it's like some like random items and stuff, and then like when I go to my wish list, like I can't find those. So I don't know what happened. There's like these ghost items. Yeah, very strange.
So Mike was telling me that he had a dream.
Oh.
And I would like to listen to what this dream was.
Okay.
It involves both of us.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
pregnant, were we?
No.
Ew.
I was. No, it was like just so random, and I like can't think of anything that like makes me. I haven't thought of anything yet that puts into perspective why I would have had this dream. But like we literally were like deep sea diving to like in a like an abandoned like city, like under the sea, like almost as if like, you know, like Raccoon City type thing.
Wait,
like
this is so weird because I literally just finished a book about a house in a lake.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, like, but we were going there, and I don't remember like if we were going to get minerals, like mine something, or if we were just going to get something from the city. But it was like an open and shut, like no way we can lose. We go, we'll be like rich beyond our wildest dreams, and for some reason, like
bad guys in a movie.
Yeah,
there's nothing that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be great, guys.
Yeah, and like for some reason, like you knew like what you were doing. Like Amy and I were like following you, and it was like very just like it was low stakes. Like nothing crazy happened.
Nice.
I think like we were stressed, like we were like worried because we never did it before. But it's not even like anything like bad happened or anything weird happened. It was just like we just like went to the city and we're like swimming around through like giant doors and stuff. And like, I don't know, I just like woke up and I was just confused. Like it came out of nowhere. And you called
me and you're like, you won't believe what happened.
Can you push back? That's why she's doing that elbow thing.
Mike, did I show you this? This is the thing.
You got the thing? You got the tag?
So nice. That's the tag. And
so the reason why I said the pregnancy thing is because last time someone had a dream about us, it was T, and she had a dream that we had a baby, and I put it in a box in the living room.
Aww.
Yeah, so we didn't have to touch it, right?
I don't remember why it was in a box.
So you see how it goes on?
Like that's cool.
Like little screws in the back, and then it just goes on like that.
Oh, here's my wallet.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. Yeah, I need to get those. Maybe that's what I'll get.
Someone told me a story today that people use those to like stalk people.
I freaking told you that.
Yeah.
I freaking told you that.
Yeah, but it
never listen.
I don't listen to you.
People.
God damn, man. Yeah, it'll warn you. Like, remember when we did something and it was just like, there's an AirTag following you.
No.
Would you like to disable it? And you can also beep it. You can also beep it.
So, question.
But people have been opening them up and removing the speakers to make it harder for other people to find them.
That's so weird. Is there an actual setting for the AirTags for like pets? Do you know what I mean? No.
But there's a setting for like if it goes away from you, it'll go off, right? It's the same thing. It's just so if you leave it behind, but it's at your house, that's okay.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about because I was just curious.
You can set locations. Like I set your cousin's house as an okay location to be left behind, and then
that's
also
cool. Like I have my purse set to the house. So like, but if I'm,
Me too.
you know, I don't know, at work and leave my purse at work, it should beep.
Is there a lifespan on AirTags? Because it just occurred to me, like when I got one, I was like, dude, you don't charge these.
You can redo
No,
the battery
there's just
though.
a battery in it.
Oh, so
It's
they
like
pop them
around
open?
a year or something like
Oh,
that.
cool. I didn't know that. I'm assuming it tells you like, yo, your battery's low, chief.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
or it'll
really
say
cool.
like, hey, it doesn't exist anymore. It disappeared.
Your AirTag has gone offline. Yeah, once the EMP hits, we won't even have
by
to
the
worry
way,
about it.
I was trying to get him to read Mistborn.
Speaking of which, you mean this?
Oh!
Whoa!
I told him to. Yeah, I sent him the trip.
That's a terrible edition. Wait, what is
It's the
that?
cheapest one. It's the 3 books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they changed it. Open it up.
That's the same one that we got too.
I don't think we have those.
No, I know, but it's the same. Like it shows up online. It's the same one because it said we bought it in 2014.
I think they changed the covers though.
So here's one cover.
Oh yeah, they're different.
They're different. Yeah, I like
those. Those are actually really cool.
I like those. They're better American because we got the British ones that were nicer.
But we have the American.
We have
one
both.
too.
Yes. Yeah. So Mistborn is the first one.
Well, there's a lot of pages, bro.
Yeah, it's a good book.
I feel like I'm not going to be able to read this as fast as I just read The Chamber of Secrets, but
No, of course not. Of course you're not going to be able to read that.
Audiobook it.
Nah, he wants to read it. He's been enjoying.
The first time I read it, I physically read it.
I like when I can't do audiobooks because I feel like when I listen to stuff, I can like get distracted easily. I find like reading actually very relaxing because like in order to do it, I have to be engaging in reading. So I think
it depends. I used to think the same thing, and I used to only listen to audiobooks for books that I've already read before. But then, like, I don't know, I got over it. Like, it doesn't. I do jigsaw puzzles and listen to books like together, and that keeps my eyes and my mind kind of occupied.
I feel like I would not remember anything that was said in the audiobook, and the puzzle would not be done at all. It would just be.
Depends, like,
it would be in the box.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, how did it get back in the box?
I've been
though,
real
like,
into audio puzzles lately.
Here. Stop. Come here.
She's not doing anything. She's just standing there. Stop standing.
What was I gonna say?
Stand
about
quieter.
the puzzles and doing the puzzles and how you thought that doing puzzles is okay to listen to. I mean, whenever I'm woodworking, that's when I listen to audiobooks the most. Like I'll listen to like half of the book
I remember
when
what I was gonna say
like,
is like
in it.
Heavy fantasy books like Mistborn, I would probably have to physically read it first. If I wanted the audiobook, I probably would have to like kind of do both because you're learning a world and you're learning like a magic system. So like it takes more brain power.
Yeah.
But so like fantasy books, I tend to have to read along with an audiobook or go back and like reread certain things. Mm-hmm. But any other book, I don't have any trouble with.
Yeah, I think if I were to like reread something that like I wasn't like super into, I would definitely lean towards audiobooks. That would be kind of cool. And I do also kind of like the idea of like the first time like experiencing a book, kind of like putting my own voice and stuff to people in my head. You know what I mean?
I don't.
You don't.
I
you
like
don't do
to,
that.
Like, no.
Oh,
he doesn't like to read. Physically.
I also don't like to read. You know that. But but I don't want that. I want like other people to do the voices so that I know what they're supposed to sound like.
Some audiobooks, like the audiobook that I'm listening to right now is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. It's like the new...
That means nothing to us.
Anyway, so the audiobook is done really well because there's a a guy narrator, and he's kind of like the guy that's forcing this girl to tell her story of her being like a pirate. And so then she gets on and she's talking, but intermittently she'll like touch the mic and like kind of turn her head so like it makes noise, and she's talking to him in the background like,
that's cool.
Hey, you sure you want me to talk about this? And it makes like background noise and like kind of I don't know, like if you're
Static.
like holding the
cool.
microphone.
Don't touch the microphone.
And then she's
bro.
like, okay, and you can hear her like readjust the mic, and she's like starts the story again. And
So, yeah,
she's,
I mean, you can't have that in reading form.
yeah,
That's
so like
No,
it's
that's-
cool.
that-
like
that's really
some
cool.
things that they do, like
Another good one is Sleeping Giants. So if you want like a sci-fi book after
it's
you
really
read
good.
Mistborn, Sleeping Giants is a good book.
I feel like
Okay.
if you were to start,
You have to listen to the audiobook though. It's an audiobook better than physical
Yeah.
book because they have like a lot. It's like
it's
interviews.
interviews,
That's the best part.
Okay.
It's like it's
and
interviews.
each person has their own voice.
Yeah, there's
That's
like
cool.
it's a full cast. So every character has an actor that does.
I
their
think
voice.
Sleeping Giants is one of my all-time favorite audiobooks.
Audiobook form. Yeah.
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 And it's just done really well.
Yeah, like I would totally be like. So last year I was reading through like the Lord of the Rings and stuff, and then the other
Snore.
day, dude, I don't know. Once I got through like half of the first half of the first book, actually
So
no,
300 hours in.
no, you know what? Actually, a good start is The Hobbit because it's way more of like a children's book. So
Yeah, but
I-
it still has those long, boring passages.
you know what you do? You just power through them, man.
I know. I've read them all before.
Yeah, but I wanted to like as a refresher. Because I stopped like last year reading them. I was like halfway through the second book. I started listening to the audiobook for like the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah,
And
but
the-
aren't those
the-
audiobooks like super old-timey sounding?
the one
Or did they redo them?
I don't know. I don't know if like they were redone or this is like a fan or something. But the one I started listening to, it was actually like really cool. And the dude was doing the different voices, and he actually sounded like the characters from the movie. So like I kind of think they've been redone, but I could be wrong.
It's possible because when I first listened to them on audio, they was so old sounding and just like,
Yeah.
Mistborn.
Sleeping Giants. You should definitely listen
Wait,
to.
Mistborn book 1, is it the Final Empire?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
What are
just
you doing?
I
I
just
want to see how long
refuse.
it is. Oh, it's only 24 hours. That's not bad. That's a long book, but it's not.
We've like.
It's not 50 hours
Yeah.
like some of the books that we've read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just refuse to read anything by the dude who did that. What's that gaming book? Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Ernest Klein.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I-
fine.
that I tried to read that. I don't know what it was, but I actually enjoyed reading Ready Player One. Like, it was.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I had no problem. But then I tried reading another book by him, and it was just like
Armada?
nonstop. Yeah, it was like reference after reference after
Yeah.
reference.
Well, the first one was like that too. If you reread it, you'll notice that.
That's why I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know why it didn't bother
I liked
me.
Armada, but honestly, I have no interest in reading the sequel to Ready Player One.
No, not at all.
Oh, he is definitely writing one.
Oh, it's done.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's out, and I have just
What's
no
the point?
interest. Yeah,
It's like, it's like
Yeah,
what I
'cause-
like. The same thing with
it
the,
ended,
Yeah.
and I forget the plot, but it's just them milking it, and like
Yeah.
continuing the same story for no reason.
Yeah, I thought that the movie was pretty lame compared to. I mean, I don't even remember what I thought about it. Like, I forgot a lot about it, but I remember like the movie just feeling like it just totally
The
like
movie was-
The
missed
movie
it.
wasn't good.
Yeah. And I saw it like 3 times in theaters, I think, because I knew a couple of different people who wanted to go see it at separate times.
Really?
And yeah, so I ended up seeing it like 2 or 3
Good.
times in the theaters.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean to adapt into a movie?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Like, is that why they wrote
is
book 2?
Yeah, is
you're
that what he was saying?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I don't
So,
even remember how the
Mistborn-
first one ends. Like, was it?
Reviews don't always mean much, right? But it has 83,000 reviews, and it's 4.8 out of 5.
Oh wow, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So
it's a
what
good
is
book.
it-
It is.
What is
and
like
Brandon-
the
What?
what's like the back cover like teaser about what it's about?
Synopsis or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Oh, Mike, I really don't. I think you should just go in blind.
Okay.
Because it's like I would say like it's a action adventure.
Okay.
It's definitely a
Oh, you know
tale
what?
where
It's
you're
kind of like a
following,
heist too. It kind of
Yeah.
has heist
Oh, that's cool.
elements.
You're following through a girl's eyes that is kind of learning.
It doesn't matter that she's a girl though.
True.
That's it.
So-
I'm returning these. No.
No, I'm
No,
just
you're
saying, like,
following
it
through
doesn't
someone's
matter.
eyes, and it's one of those stories where like you learn as she learns type of
That's
deal.
cool. That's cool.
So like,
Just read
it's
it.
not super overwhelming.
Just stop. You're killing it. You already said too much and stupid stuff. Just read it. It's just
He started writing the second book after the movie.
Of course he did. That's what people.
No, I mean the second book just came out not that long ago. I feel.
Yeah, and he probably started writing the book. He's not Brandon Sanderson.
No.
You know,
Dude. So have either of you like read like much like Stephen King at all?
I've read only like 3 or 4 books by him.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah, I've only read a couple too, but like I feel like he like the ones that I have read, like he does such a good job of like almost like force, like this like greater like force behind things. He writes it in such like a great like epic way. Like
what I don't like about any of his stories is that I always feel like the ending, he doesn't nail the ending.
Well, that's because he doesn't write the plot. How he writes is he sits down and he just writes and he doesn't have anything figured out. I've seen him interview and say like that's how he writes. And Brandon Sanderson actually teaches a writing class at a university sometimes, and during one of his lectures he talks about, you can actually watch his lectures online, and in one of the lectures he talks about how he writes versus how Stephen King writes, and he has everything mapped and plotted out and knows exactly what the story is going to do, and Stephen King just sits there and just like here's how it's going to be. Like he just like writes it and figures it out as he goes.
I just feel like every single thing that I haven't read any of his stuff.
I lied because I read like 4 of the
you were trying to read them
books.
yeah.
And then I read,
those are his books.
so I read Carrie.
Yeah. They're like, it's interesting though, because like the Dark Tower, they're so like, they're
Weird.
obviously Stephen King, but you can tell that they're like from a much different era than like a lot of his later, like his.
Well, they're not really horror. You know what I mean?
It's just like the vibe that he writes. Cause like even though it is about like, you know, a supernatural like being and stuff, there's like, it was just some of the most like epic, like I feel like writing, and like, I don't know. I feel like he crafts a universe like so well that's like very interesting, considering he's like a horror writer. And like I started thinking about it because I started rereading like the Harry Potter books and stuff, and I just finished book 2, and it's like she like tries to hint at that, but it's just like not done well. Like, oh, Harry doesn't know why, as if guided by some force, you know, he stabs the journal and stuff. And I just like, I don't know, it's like just thinking about that aspect of like fiction.
I think Chamber of Secrets is one of my least favorite books.
Really?
So
out of the Harry Potter series,
I read it in high school, which now I'm dating myself, which was like what, 20 years ago.
Oh, I see.
So it's been a long time since I read it. I don't really remember much about it. I read Carrie, I read Christine, I read It, and I think 4 of the Gunslinger novels or whatever you want to call them. And I think that's all I've read by him.
Okay. Yeah, I
What
did.
Nothing has ever like blown my mind, you know, like where I'm like,
what
oh
I like
my
about
God.
Brandon Sanderson is that I feel like his writing is like for our generation. Does that make sense? Like the way he writes is like the way it just feels more natural. It's not like wordy.
He writes
and
intricate stuff, but in a way you understand it without getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like he knows exactly how to write an intricate story with really intricate characters, but to a point where you don't feel overwhelmed about any of it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's definitely a thing with like Lord of the Rings that took a bit to like kind of get past, is when it's like just describing this hall and like the armor or whatever, and like it's so descriptive that like I like zone out and I like just don't get any of the description because I'm just like, wait, what?
if you read Lord of the Rings and liked it, I feel like if you read some Brandon Sanderson, you will have a whole new appreciation for fantasy, but like in a different way.
Yeah.
Because like I read now, like after Brandon Sanderson, he's like broken me. Like I go back to like old
Anything
type
else.
fantasy, and I'm just like, ugh.
It's like some of it's like it's fine. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? But like it's not as epic as it could be.
Yeah.
Brandon's pretty epic. Hello, LMR.
What up, baby?
But yeah, like I hope you like it.
Oh, I'm sure I
let me
will.
know when you start it.
All right, I'll probably start it after I finish.
And
the
don't get
Harry
me
Potter
wrong, like
books.
there are some Brandon Sanderson books that I definitely like are my least favorites.
But there's still like 4s out of 5.
They're still good, but they're ones that I wouldn't recommend to everybody.
There's only like 1 or 2 for me out of all the ones that I read.
Warbreaker and like the second era Mistborn.
No, I like the second era Mistborn, and like I especially like it. Like once we got to book 3, I was just like, oh shoot.
I don't remember it. I have to reread it.
Oh, and then there was the not the Elantris thing, but that other what's the book that has the book that has the compendium with all the different stories.
Arcanum Unbounded.
Yeah. So there's the Mistborn mini story in that. When I read that, I was just like, oh I was just like, this makes the book even better because it's like now I understand why these things happened in that book because there's this other explanation, you know. And I was just like, oh man, so it's still not better than Era 1, but it's really good.
Is he like well known and stuff like that? And
my god, Brandon Sanderson?
Yeah.
Oh, like crazy.
So the
like you can't even find like you can't readily buy signed books of his. Like a lot of authors, like you can go on their website or go on certain websites and just like get signed books wherever you want. Like his, like you can't do that.
So
I mean like outside of like the real like reading community type thing. Like has he had any like big? Is he like a big mainstream like name?
I don't know. I mean,
that's a good question.
He's not like because he hasn't had movies or shows or anything like that done.
I feel like if you're not a reader, you wouldn't know of him. But if you read anything, you've probably heard of him.
Okay, just curious. It annoys me when like bad writers get famous.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's people learn about books a lot of times because of partnerships with movies or TV or something like that, right? Like look at all like that Bone series that's on what's it called? The Magicians, like all of those things became popular because of the show, right? Because the show, and then the people watch it, and then people like, oh, I know about that author.
Vampire Diaries.
Vampire Diaries and stuff like True Blood.
Yeah.
But all that stuff, but he doesn't have anything.
No, and I don't
want them to ruin it. You know, they got to give it like the Last of Us treatment, if anything, to like any of the stories. It needs to be somebody that loves the show or loves the book and will do it justice. And he needs to be involved in it. Because I think that's the biggest thing about Last of Us is that the original writer is involved in the writing of he's the writer in it.
Yeah.
You know? And then the other director, producer guy is like he did Chernobyl, you know, like he's done big things that are well known and did well. So he's just like but he loves the game too. Like that's the other thing. You can't.
I can't believe there's only one episode left. Do you know if it's gonna be longer? Like, is it gonna be like a 2 hour?
I don't know.
Damn.
Dude, I know. I don't know how they're gonna fit that last part in.
Man, I still can't believe there's I can't believe there's so few like infected in the show. Like overall, it's like so. I don't know.
I get it though because like if they did put them in so much, it would just be like fuck. What is it called? Walking Dead.
Yes.
Again.
Yes, but
then it would fall under that stupid thing where we spend 20 minutes. Let's run away from the zombies. Like, you know, it's like God. I love the story. I love the story focus. I'm sure that they encountered infected during that like 1 month, 2 month period that they were traveling. You know what I mean? The only thing I wish they had a timestamp of like 2 weeks later, 1 month later. You know, so because I'm not sure how much time since they left until now has gone by.
Yeah. Well, like that's what's interesting because I just finished replaying the first game, and it's like
no spoilers.
Yeah. So, but like from the
no, I'm serious. Not for me, but for anybody else that's listening that has.
Yeah. No.
You know
like from when like say the last big thing happened, you know, the big plot point.
Yeah.
That is pretty much resolved by the last episode that just happened. Like they make it seem like that was going on for a while, like at least a little while. But I think kind of for the sake of realism, they kind of had to like make it seem like it was less
like a day.
Yeah, like a day.
In the show, it was like a day.
Which I think like
that's what in the podcast. That's what he said.
Okay, perfect. So then
it's been like a day and like roughly, and then and then the show came back basically.
Yeah.
So Tony said, "I wish the show had a little crafting in it, like the game." They kind of did. She made like, well, no, she had like she uses her knife like the shiv, right?
No,
But
she
doesn't actually
had a
make the
knife, I believe.
shivs.
I think that was her. Like, I think when you played as her, she had.
Yeah,
a knife.
I guess there is.
And
No
I don't think
crafting,
it broke.
really.
I don't think
Didn't
her
they
knife
make
broke.
like a Molotov cocktail at some point?
They crafted, but again, they hint at stuff. I think the show is a masterpiece. I think it's like the best show that I've seen, like especially adaptation of something else. You know, like a different work.
The episodes, like that last episode that just happened, I didn't care for it again. The ones where
it was good.
the ones where
was
it
so
seems
good.
like a real copy, and then like
But dude, you can't change something if it's good and it works when they translate it.
No,
Because the only thing that they change is the things that don't work, like that works as a game but doesn't work as the show.
I think that last episode was perfect for them to have had even just some infected. In fact, that they're like from.
Well, they did change that because there was that whole. That's how like he gains her trust and stuff. Was when they have to defend themselves against the infected.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
so they removed that. So like
that's what I mean.
Different. It's different. It's different. You just say you wanted it to be different. Now it's different. Now you're arguing about it, wanting it to be the same.
All they did was remove the infected element, and then you got to the same part. So that's what I'm saying. Like
it's just gonna add, like, dude, if they just put in, that would be so boring. You froze for a second. It'd be so boring though to like just have like. See, I don't know. I don't think I'm done with zombies.
I'm not saying there should be.
Care about zombies.
I'm not saying there should be like an insanely large amount more. I'm just saying like it seems too little. Like I feel like.
I still I guess I don't feel that way because I still feel the threat is always there.
See, you know what? I think that's the thing is I don't because
you know what happens.
No, not even that. It's because like they're so far removed. Like I think that like the infected could have a presence where like it's not like a big like action scene or something like that. Like literally like just an example off the top of my head is just like, you know, instead of what happens in the game at like from that last episode where that's a probably like a half hour or so chunk of gameplay, you could have them literally like run into like one or two and have it be
but why?
Seconds.
What is that gonna
just
add?
Because you know, because it like I feel like the world feels like strangely devoid of this huge thing that's supposed to be there.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Right now, you can make the argument that they're in like a super cold tundra, basically, and you know, fungus doesn't really grow.
See some of them frozen. That would be cool. Like even that would be cool.
Sure, but like I don't think an action scene with more of them would be better for sure.
I would honestly I would prefer like tense moments of like maybe sneaking past them a little bit.
I think everything that they've done is so good. Like I don't think it would add to it. It would be different, but I don't think it would add.
I don't know. I think the storytelling is just so good that I don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, and then this last episode, I wish that they changed more than more than anything.
Me here,
you wish what?
I said this last episode, I wish was an aspect that they changed even more, because I feel like it's just like even more like I feel like because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but I feel like in the last episode, like that's such a big trope that you see in apocalypse movies that like it would have like that even in the game, like
I didn't remember that stuff happening in that episode until the scene indoors where at like the restaurant type location.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it, but that's the only thing I remember from the game essentially.
Yeah.
That happened in that episode. Like I don't know why my mind blocked it out. I remember the ending of the game though very vividly.
Really? Okay.
So I'm like hoping that they do it justice and they do it right.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping so too. I just wish with the last episode like we were talking about, I think even in the game that was played out, like saw it coming a mile away, but I will at least say in the game they're a little more subtle about it. Like it's obvious, but it's not so like in your face as even in the show. So like that was something where I kind of wish they changed more. But I mean, I think a lot of the stuff they add has been awesome. And I'm actually, I don't know if they talk about it at all, but I would be very curious if these were
it's
like
weird because like we don't always watch the things at the end, but for some of them, did someone pee?
Yeah.
yeah, Al did.
And it wasn't me.
Our animals suck, man.
Aw, don't say that.
They do. They don't know how to ask to go to the bathroom.
My
Like,
my
If
one
we don't
do-
take them out on a schedule, they just pee.
my one dog, he will like make it known when he has to go to the bathroom, but then sometimes he just wakes up from like sleeping and just pees in his crate immediately. He's like almost
in the crate. That's weird.
yeah, almost it's like legit, almost like he's a little kid who has like a nightmare or something and pees.
Really?
Like he'll just like get up and pee.
Speaking of that,
What?
Winry.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
we
god!
took the-
So like,
Okay.
we had to
so-
take Winry to the vet. My cat that no one ever sees because we don't even see her. And
She's like a typical cat.
yeah,
not like
she
the other
hides from
ones
everything. But
that
every
like
time
us.
we have to take her to the vet, it's like a whole ordeal because, you know, she hates being picked up or whatever. But once you get her, she's very sweet and like just sits there. But anyway, so this Saturday we had to take her to the vet to get blood work done, and I caught her and I held her in like a
Like a
fetal
baby.
position, yeah, like baby position, and all of a sudden Kivox is like, she's peeing, and I'm like, what? And I look down and
I'm
she
like,
just
don't move, because like
just,
she was
like,
she was
streamed.
perfectly peeing like onto, like she was standing up, so she was peeing like onto the floor and
Like
not
a
on
hardwood
her.
floor, thank
So
God.
I'm like, don't move, she's peeing.
And
then
I sat there and she
dude,
peed for like a solid minute.
Yeah, it just
That's
kept coming
so
out,
funny, dude.
I was just like,
and she was just like,
can you stop peeing now?
Dude, that's
And then of
so
course she
funny.
needed to get urine at the vet, and they're like, we couldn't get any urine.
Yeah, she was-
I'm
they
like,
were like,
yeah,
"She's
because it's
empty."
all on my floor.
she's empty. We should have caught some.
Yeah.
The cup would have to be sterile.
I didn't
though,
know
right?
they needed it.
Dude, it was so funny when I had to get a drug test for my new job. Like, I was so worried about peeing and peeing beforehand and
able
not
to
being
pee.
able to. So, like, I drank a ton of water. I was ready to go. The guy handed me the cup. I, like, walk into the room. I'm done in literally, like, 2 seconds. I walk back out, and he's like, "Dude, that's the, that was the fastest I've ever seen it done." And I was like, yeah, I don't want to have to come back. But, no, that's funny, though. She just starts peeing. Yeah,
She's never done that.
dude.
Ever. It was weird. And then it was really depressing, but like later that day, my parents' cat died.
Oh, that's sad. I
Like
remember.
very suddenly, and just like it was crazy because we just saw him when we went to Florida and he seemed like perfectly fine. And he like died out of nowhere, but kind of. Like he had a seizure and then
That's
he couldn't
so
walk.
sad.
And my dad had to do it all alone. So like that was like the worst part about it is like my mom's in
I
Texas.
did tell you, right?
Yeah, you told me about
Okay,
this show.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, that's cool.
But yeah, my mom was in Texas because my grandpa's sick. He had major surgery.
Oh,
And then
jeez.
my dad was home alone. My sister was at her job. So then my dad had to deal with this whole thing by himself and put the cat down. And like,
Man.
I just feel bad for my sister too because like she left and everything was fine. And then she came home and like there's no more cat. Just like
Jesus.
Crazy.
So wait, does one of your sisters live
with
near
my
them?
parents. Yeah.
Okay.
No, with them.
Oh, with them? Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man, that stuff's tough, man. Animals.
He was
Animal-
a big cat too. Like he was like 18 or 19 pounds, and he
Oh,
was just,
really?
Like,
He was young too, right? Like
he was
relatively.
gonna be 10 soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
that's
well, wait,
young
is
for a
that
cat.
that's young for cats, right? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know,
Man.
dude. But they did blood work, and they found out he probably had cancer in his lymph systems, like lymphoma.
Oh, that's
They
sad.
found out that one of his kidneys was like 10 times the size of the other.
That's
and
so sad.
And the fact that like when he was at the vet, his eyes were just like darting all over the place and he couldn't walk anymore. So in my mind, the cancer's spread to like his brain. There's no
Yeah.
coming back from that. Like, unfortunately, it's sad.
Yeah, no, that's
So I
terrible,
spent like
man.
all day crying Saturday over that, and then like Sunday was just
I didn't
kind of like
cry.
chill.
Yeah, man. Pets, it's interesting because like I like love my dogs and all that, and like part of me like wants to like always have dogs now, and then part of me is like after them,
You're
I
just
never want
damning
to.
yourself.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like oh boy, I don't
It
know.
sucks, man, because like we have 5 animals and they're all relatively the same age. So we're gonna go through a period where like all of our animals probably die nearly like at the same time.
That's why you need to get a puppy right now.
No. I can't afford it, dude. Her blood work alone was $230. Like, it's
I was
insane.
I was talking to somebody else about this. Is like that's the thing that makes me so mad. Is like I feel like the people who never bring their animals to the vet
Are the
never
ones that
have
live
problem.
forever.
Yeah,
Yep.
they never have problems and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's like
I've said
so.
this a million times that I truly believe that like the vaccines we give our animals or something like kills them and
Well,
gives
I
them
think
cancer.
a big thing is that like I don't think they're as regulated as like the human ones.
No.
And
Because
that's why you can't give a human like a rabies shot. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
like
Because like T,
because it's probably
here,
not good for
instance,
them.
She has a
Well-
cat that's 20 years old and never
Jeez.
takes it to the vet.
Jesus.
My
Well,
coworker has a cat that's 17 and never has taken it to the vet. And like all these people that don't take their cats to the vets, they live forever.
yeah, or it's like we watch our dogs like to make sure they don't get into anything crazy. And then it's like, and then there's the people who it's like they just let their dogs out and it's like, yeah, they ate another diaper. Like this is literally like something that happened. And it's like,
Dude,
it's like how?
Oh,
How?
they're fine. They'll
Yeah,
poop
they're
it out.
fine. How is
I
it?
talked to somebody today that said that their dog ate like Reese's and stuff and they were fine.
Now, it's hard to say though, because I have a coworker
chocolate's
that
poisonous for
their
dogs.
dog like started seizuring and stuff after eating chocolate, and
Well,
he
it's
almost
poisonous.
died.
Yeah,
Well-
no, it's
well,
but I'm
from-
saying some dogs make it.
Well, one for sure. I think every dog is different, but then also too, a lot of stuff is like how much. So like
Yeah.
dogs shouldn't like so if they ate like a fun sized piece of Hershey's, probably fine. If they got into like
Depending
a
on their
box,
size though too.
yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
If they're a little
exactly,
dog,
exactly.
then they're probably like I think it's yeah.
But
Yeah.
she with the pizza dough.
Yeah, dude. Did we
Oh
tell you
my
about the pizza dough thing?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh my god! So I made some pizza dough the other day, like it was like we're bringing it to the cousin's house because we're having a game day or
Well,
whatever.
pizza, not the dough.
Yeah, yes, pizza. So I made dough for pizza. So I made it.
Did
I
he-
put it in
he
a thing
broke-
and I covered
Oh,
it
there you
to,
go.
and I covered it to rise.
Yeah,
And then we came up here to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came up here to
Or no,
play
I
the
think
game.
it was just a live stream.
Yeah, okay, it was just a live stream. So then it was gonna like rise for like an hour, and I was gonna push it down and then let it rise again. So when I went down, she came upstairs, and we were like, "Where the hell were you?" And then she just threw up this like, don't say anything, this roll of paper towels that was like like this big, right?
Aw.
But then I poke it, and I was like, I think it's like a paper towel or something. It was just dough. It was like this much dough, dude. It was like probably it was probably like this big.
Oh, poor
And it was all
baby.
like fluffy. I was
Yeah.
like, is that
But
dough?
it just looked
and
like
you're
if you-
like, I think it is.
If you just
dough.
took like a roll of paper towels, wet it, and just like right. So she just throws up this giant thing. I'm like, how is that inside you? And then when I go down, I was like, I think this is dough. And I went downstairs and like the thing that the dough was in had like it had overflowed and like was probably like hanging. So either it hung all the way down, she bit it and ate a bunch of it, or she like pulled on it and just bit it off. Right? I don't know what she did. It probably
Oh
fell
my-
on the floor, but it drooped down and then
That's
she
some
ate it.
that's some good garlic knots, baby.
And then she threw up like 2 more times, almost the same amount.
Yeah.
Because it was expanding, right? And we're like, oh my god, she's gonna die.
Well, then I start researching it, right?
And
And,
then
I'm
she's
like,
like- and I was-
how bad is this for
Well,
a
you're like-
dog?
you're like, it's
Thinking
probably not
like
bad.
it's
And I'm
not
like-
probably.
and then
No,
I
it's
said
like
the yeast-
apparently like
the yeast is bad.
severely deadly. And they're like, you have to watch your dog because if their stomach starts bloating and they
And
can't.
then she was like full for a long, like I could feel her belly like hard. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god. So then
But every time it got like that, she would throw up.
yeah.
So I guess I started researching it online, and they were saying that like as long as your dog is throwing it up, like she should be fine.
Well,
But-
if you ever want to expedite it too, it's if you catch it quick, and it's nothing like dangerous, like too dangerous, you want to give them some peroxide.
I've
And
heard of that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we've done that.
But how would you make them eat it?
So what you can do, because you need to measure it, and she's smaller, so she would need you would need to find the equation. I could find you the article, but it's something like a half a teaspoon per like 5 pounds or something like that, or
Okay.
or a
Okay.
table. You know, you
Got it.
get it. And
Yeah.
so what you could do is, if they're docile, you can use like a baby medicine syringe, where it's
Mhm.
like it's not actually a syringe, it's like for cough syrup or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or the way I've tricked our dogs before is we I would mix it with wet dog food, and then
Okay.
she would eat it. So if your dogs are little pigs like mine and they eat
Oh,
everything
yeah.
possible,
Oh yeah.
mix it. Yeah,
She ate
yeah,
dough,
yeah.
raw dough.
Well,
But
one
anyway,
time,
so I guess the big, like we were saying, the bad thing in it is the yeast, and like it actually like ferments and
then gets
causes
them
like
drunk.
alcoholic. So if they said that, like, if your dog starts acting drunk, like wobbling around and stuff, they could die from alcohol poisoning.
oh my God. Well, I forget what it is, but there's actually something that I believe they use alcohol for to heal a dog. I forget what it is, but Mary Lynn told me that like at the vet, like they would give certain dogs like shots of like vodka, I think, or something. And I forget
Like
what it
little
was.
dog shots.
Yeah, yeah, and they would get, I guess, like they would be like drunk, but I forget what I'll ask her and text you, but it was like it was to treat something. But that
Yeah, but I guess like also the big thing is like they can get bloated, and if they can't throw it up
or
like,
pass it or poop
or
it.
pass it, but like their stomachs will twist.
Yes, yes.
Pass it or poop it. Two
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
Ugh. It was like we
well,
were
I meant,
like
like,
up like
pee-pee.
half the night, just like
okay. But that's
anxiety.
not passing it.
No, that's what I'm
Passing it
saying.
is
Like
going
vomit
through.
or poop it. I think
Yeah.
I thought she said puke, but yeah, like if she can't, yeah, if they can't get it out, I think, yeah, for certain breeds, I also think like twisted stomach is a thing. Like I think German Shepherds maybe, or Huskies, one
Yeah,
of those.
yeah, I've heard of it.
But no, you should, just in case, you should keep some peroxide. And but
We
you
always
gotta,
have it.
you
That's
have
how
to
I
make
clean
you have to
my
make sure
counters.
you have to make sure it's the right kind though. It's usually the most common one, like 3% or something.
Yeah, that's
but-
what I use to clean my counters.
Yeah. Yeah, Tucker one time, we thought he ate like these little, like they look like little Chinese knockoff like squishy toys. We thought he ate one, so we gave him some to puke it up, because we're like, dude, we don't know, like it was literally like Chinese writing or something like on the box. So we're like, dude, who the heck knows what these are made of? We didn't know what was inside of it. So we gave him some to have him puke it up. He puked up like 8 of them. So like, yeah, and the thing is like he went and Mary Lynn saw him eat one, and she was right on top of it, because we know he's a psychopath, so we have to watch him. So we don't even know how he had the time to eat like 8 of them and stuff. And then another time when he was a little puppy, like tiny puppy, and like he was like rail thin, dude. Like if he's like my wallet, dude, he's rail thin. Then one night out of nowhere, he's just getting like chunky, and he's looking like a little piglet, and he's just like farting and having to poop all the time. No clue what happened. Like
what has he been eating?
Dude, no clue. He was just
Maybe
like,
he ate some dough.
who knows, dude, maybe. Because he just like, because again, he's so thin, like almost like a greyhound. And then he was a little pup. He was very clearly just like a round little fatty, and he was farting. He had to poop a bunch, and then he was just fine. So, and he was like all tired, like laying down. So we don't know what he got into, but he was just like, oh my God. And just like, what dogs.
I mean, I'm sure your girlfriend knows like that pizza dough is bad for dogs, but like, because apparently it's a very common thing. Like we even talked to like my uncle and stuff, and he's like, yeah, it's like deadly. And we're like, oh, is that common knowledge? Because we had no idea.
I consider myself pretty well versed in dogs, and I don't know if I knew that offhand. I feel like I didn't. You know what I mean?
We just like, anytime the dogs get into something new, we like automatically were like, hey Echo, can they eat this? Or like we'll Google it quickly, because like, God, you never know, dude.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's funny because like how WebMD has made like a ton of people like hypochondriacs, like they call it like health anxiety now. It's like caused like a massive like rise in that. Like you can like actually get that with like dogs, because if you Google anything about dog, like sticks. I remember one time I was just like Googled it just curious.
Can
and
dogs
it's like
bite sticks?
yeah, it'll tell you like chewing sticks can be dangerous, and it's like what, I don't know. It's like anything with dogs can be dangerous, but with a lot of them, it's like you said, how big are they, and then also how much do they eat? You know,
Well,
like
we used to give 11 rawhide bones, which we know are not great for them, whatever. But we had to stop buying them because she'll like eat them whole. So
oh
like
really?
the little bits that are left, she just like inhales them. And we're like, well, that's gonna rip her intestines out, so we
Right.
can't.
No,
give her
I don't think
that.
it would, but it could hurt her going down, or it could
Yeah.
get caught because
Yeah,
it's
it could get stuck in her.
You should look-
stomach.
it'll dissolve.
You should
It'll
get
get digested.
Antlers. You should get antlers. Those are
Dude,
great.
they're like $40 a
But-
piece.
But if you get a good one, like a good quality one, they'll last a long time. Like they'll
Did you
like
sneeze on me?
like my dogs are the two craziest chewers I've ever seen, which is like nuts because they're relatively small. But like antlers, like good quality antlers are one of the few things that takes them a long time to get through and
Mm.
stuff. So those are good. But watch out for like the cheap ones though. Like I remember I bought one and I didn't notice till after. Like I could almost like bend it. It had like a little play in it, and it
Yeah,
was just no good.
that deer must have been like
Malnourished.
slacking.
Malnourished. Oh, poor little guy.
All right, we're gonna get off.
All right.
It was nice talking to you, Mike.
Absolutely,
I
anytime.
hope to never talk to you again. And
So talk to you in 10 minutes.
say bye, Meek.
Bye, Meek.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.